Thank you. Hey guys, I'm Arpita and I am here to talk about how to actually run a game studio where not all your team members are under one roof and are not working on the same time zones, and then a lot of more stuff like that. So I run a studio called Mech Mocha Game Studios. We're based in India, and when we started looking out for a team with which we could, take our game from a prototype to a high quality title, we wanted to look around everywhere, and we didn't want to actually be stuck by geographical boundaries. So we are at present we are a team spread around the globe. Our sound designer is from Canada, our illustrator is from Brazil, and then even within India, we are not all at the same place. So basically, both the co-founders, we take care of the tech and co-design, and then we collaborated with the visual effects studio from Mumbai, who are helping us, who did the visual effects for the game. And so basically, the whole team is spread around, and we operate majorly in terms of remote tools and yeah. So to give you an outset of why we need a lean and remote mode of operation nowadays, the budgets of mobile games are just like going higher and higher and higher, and making a mobile game, a casual game, has become more expensive. And when you see the giant players entering, and like there are a lot of mid-core games coming in with huge studios, it's very difficult to find a place on the App Store for your game. And then like the Flappy Bird still happens, so you never know like when your game comes up and when it goes down. So it's good to start with a small budget and actually be very lean while you go on developing your game. So yeah, why lean? Because you don't have a rich dad, and like you don't want to blow up all your savings on making your dream game. And if you see, the game development life cycle is skewed. So if you guys like during the first few months, you won't have any work on the visual effects side, because that's the time when your concept art and your core engine is being developed. So if you have somebody who's doing the visual effects on the team on site, that's an extra cost, and extra cost that you incur. So it's good that like if you're trying to operate lean, it's better that you find somebody who's a visual effects artist, and he just works when actually there is work on the visual effects side. Same goes for sound design. It comes a bit later in the game development life cycle. So that things of that sort can actually be shifted, and a lot of cost as well as effort can be saved on that side. And like every dollar that you save on development, like mostly all teams just spend everything they have on making a kick-ass game. But everything that you actually save while making your game can actually be spent really well, putting the word out, marketing it, and actually getting people to start playing your games, going to conferences, and all that. So yeah. Now why collaborate? Because if you're collaborating, so there's we wanted to work with best people around the world, and we didn't want to do it as a contract work or outsourcing. We wanted to work with them so that they feel that they are part of the whole team. So we went out looking for people who are open for collaboration. The difference between collaboration and contract work is that when somebody has his sweat equity in the game, they do it with all the love, and there's an intrinsic motivation that comes in, because they feel as if they're like part of the team, and it's their game. It's not like they're just making few sounds for it and then they will make it for another game. So then when it comes to availability, if you work with a contractor, he would be available for, let's say, 15 days, 20 days, a month, and then after that he'll say that I have other projects to look at, and I'll probably find some time, but I cannot find more time. So, but when you actually collaborate with an individual or a studio, they feel, because they have a certain share, profit shares when the game is out, they feel really connected to it, and they're always looking at making it better, not just like what was asked before or what was in the court. They actually make the best of what they can deliver. And then, yes, rework. I mean, if you guys are making games, you will know there's a lot of rework when it comes to games. And when you're actually collaborating with people, that rework is possible because with every bit of rework, the game gets better and better. And they actually get benefit of it when the game is launched. So there's a lot of synergy in terms, there's no conflict of interest. And then, yeah, and when you collaborate, it leads to long-term relationships because if you work with a sound designer for one project, and if you guys collaborated and everything goes on well, he can be with you and he can work on multiple projects that you do in future, which if you do go for contract work, it may not be that strong and effective a relationship. And now why remote? I mean, that's a question we always get when we talk about how we operate. If you guys have read about 37 Signals, they have a tool called Basecamp. So the guy who runs it says that the most talented people in the world are not always under one roof. And if you want to reach out and make the best team, you should be open to making it work remotely, which is really difficult when it comes to games because there are so many verticals: art, animation, sounds, visual effects, programming, engine. That it gets really difficult when you're operating remotely, but it's not impossible thanks to a lot of tools that are out there. Also, when you're actually working remotely, the entire evaluation or the entire focus is on the work. So like when you're talking at 3 a.m. in the night with an artist who's sitting in Brazil, you don't care, how many hours he worked, or was he here in the office at right time, or how was he rude, or was he good, or you don't care. You only care about the work. If the work he sends you is good, it's all good. So a lot of managing people activity is like kept aside, and a lot of focus comes on building a good game rather than managing people, managing their timings. And if your team gets bigger and bigger, it's even more difficult as a head or as a founder. It gets difficult to manage everyone and keep everyone happy with the facilities and stuff. And then, yeah, you save a lot on expensive infrastructure. So if your artist is comfortable working from his lab or his space, and he has his own Cintiq and MacBook and 27-inch screen, you don't have to get it at your studio. Since he has it and he loves working on it, it makes more sense. And as a studio, let's say you're making a PC game, and so you need a lot of testing devices, which are PCs. Next day, if you're making another a Kinect game, now you need 3-4 Kinects to actually do the testing. So when it comes to infrastructure, it becomes very easy if you're operating remotely. And then, yes, if you're working remotely, there's a lot of good documentation that happens because all the team, they communicate online. And so every file that you make, every update that you make, every discussion that you have is well documented. It's never like you guys are just going out for a drink and you discuss something and that's a major design change in the game, and then it just happens without any documentation. When you're communicating online, there's a lot of documentation that goes behind, and we've had a lot of benefit of doing that. Also, you can conduct multiple meetings at a time. I can talk to both my sound designer and artist at the same time. I mean, because they're all both on Skype, and I can chat and I can send files at the same time to both of them. So that helps a lot in terms of, yes, in terms of tools that we use Trello for actually deciding and assigning tasks to the whole team. We've tried other tools like Socialcast. It's a tool by 37 Signals, and but then Socialcast is also free. It's free for 50 users, but it's a bit complicated. And when it comes to artists, they really don't like to get attached to something that is more complicated. So yeah, Trello is very comfortable. It's agile. It's the quickest way to actually communicate and assign tasks online. And howsoever old email sounds, it still helps. I mean, Gmail still helps us a lot. And we communicate majorly on Google Docs. Anything that is async and anything that we need to communicate and actually document for later use, we always use Google Docs for that. And then for video is really important because when you see somebody face to face, that's when creative communication is possible, because let's say if I'm working with a sound designer and he sent me a sound and I don't like it and I want it like this, I can't just like write it in a chat. I have to actually put on a video on, and I have to make that sound, and I have to just explain him how we need it. So video is really important. It should not be like undermined. So we use Skype for that. Then we use WeTransfer for transferring heavy files. WeTransfer, like there are so many things like Dropbox and email and FTP, but WeTransfer is very fluent in terms of when you work with artists and creative people who don't want a lot of complicated ways of doing things, WeTransfer has proven to be really good. You just drag the file and it's like it goes, you get an email notification if it was downloaded successfully or not. Yeah, so it has been really good for us. And then for code, we use GitHub. That's a standard. We tried Squiggle and Hangout for video communication, but we actually get back to Skype always. I don't know why, but yeah, it's more smooth, it's faster, and it's more efficient. It's always available, so yeah. Okay, so what are the lessons learned in this mode of operation? One thing is that when you're operating as a remote team, even if like me and my co-founder, we operate under one roof, most of the important communication that we do should happen online so that everybody is in sync with, like the whole team is in sync with whatever was discussed today. Also, there should be certain fixed core hours, because when you start working remotely, people think that they can work at their own comfort levels, at their own work hours, and they can be very flexible about it. But we've seen that there has to be certain core hours, like maybe an hour or two when everybody is online and they're there to attend what is being discussed. Also, when you're setting collaboration deals, that is when you're not paying full amounts and you're actually giving rev share in your game or in your project, be very very careful about the contracts that you sign. Probably take proper legal help and keep everything like the terms clear, whether it is for this game or it is for sequels or it is for the platform or it is for like all the platform the game comes on. So yeah, just be very clear on that, because that gets a bit messy. And yeah, it's very important to keep everybody motivated, because you don't meet daily. You should communicate anything that happens, like if you are showcasing at Casual Connect, if you got mentioned somewhere in the media, just like be very open in terms of communication with the whole team. And yeah, you have to define your choices in terms of good, fast, and cheap. You can't get all three. Like you can't get good work, fast, and cheap. You need to make your choice if you need it. So the choice we made was we wanted good and cheap, because we are not a rich company. But it's on you. If you want a high quality work done in less cost, it has to be like the artist or the designer will take his own time, because he has other projects and he has to like take care of his income as well. When you're working on a remote or a collaboration basis, just don't hire anyone, or just don't like start working with anyone you meet at a conference, because remote working is not for everyone. It's a core skill. Not everyone can be as self-disciplined and as good in communicating online as others, and it's very important when you are actually choosing somebody to come on your team as a collaborator and is working remotely. It's important to check if he's like self-motivated, and if that guy will be able to maintain, deliver actually. That's the only thing that is important, delivering the work. Nothing else is actually important. Also, we've seen that it's impossible to do the tech or the core game design remotely, because those are the two things that are very crucial. And I would not suggest, I mean, it can be done, there's nothing impossible, but then it's very difficult to handle tech being done remotely. The core engine, the core final build, it has to be done by people who are, at least 2-3 people who are working together. And yeah, and then if you, like this I've seen a lot of places, I've just put this point because I really believe in it. If you're in the business of making games, don't start making an engine. I mean, like I've heard so many developers who start making on their own game engine, and you waste so much of time doing that. There are like so many good engines available. You have Unity, you have Coco Studio. Probably use them and like get the game out fast. Okay, so what's the other side, the flip side of operating this way? there are unprecedented delays. So if your internet is down, if your people actually, if the guy is unwell, so he leaves the project, so he's not your full-time employee that you can actually, you can fire him, or you can actually, bash at him. He's a collaborator. He's giving you a lot of his time, valuable time, and his skills and you're not paying him anything. So there can be unprecedented delays. And then there are a lot of time zone clashes. So like we work with people from Canada, Brazil, and we're in India. So we have to pretty much work 24/7 to actually talk to everybody in the team. So that's a flip side. And then so if anything goes wrong between, let's say if you're working with an artist, you started working and things are not going well between you, then it's really difficult, because if you've already signed a contract, let's say giving him 5% of your net revenues of the game, it becomes very difficult taking it back. You're not giving a monthly salary, so that's a very important thing. Also, we've tried raising investment. We've luckily raised investment for our studio, but it becomes very difficult to actually explain investors when you operate in this mode, because when you say that your sound designer is in Canada, they feel that you're actually outsourcing work, and no, that guy can anytime run away, and you're not building core strength of the studio, and that's not investment friendly. That we've heard it from a lot of investors, but there have been investors who've believed in this way, because game development is really risky. I mean, you yourself doesn't know what will work in the market. How can you even explain it to an investor? So it's risky. So the minimal the cost of development, the more there's more chance that your studio will be healthily running for a longer time, and you can make more games. So that's what we have been doing, and yeah. Any questions on this? Oh, so many.
Hi. Thanks for the awesome talk. I think it's quite interesting that this kind of remote, and you mentioned 37 Signals,
Yes.
swaps over from the Rails community to other communities. I think that's cool. My question about the contracts you mentioned,
Yes.
how do you normally structure these kinds of deals? So how do these collaboration contracts look like?
Yes, so basically what we have learned from our experiences is that if you just want anybody, like if you want really talented people to work for you without paying them anything, that doesn't work. So in all the relationships that we have gone through a part payment, part share kind of a setting, where we pay certain amount. That gives them the confidence that we are not like running away, and we're a stable studio. And then slowly, when you build relationship, it gets even easier. We actually took help, like we're part of an accelerator back in India, so they did help us in setting up right contracts, but it's really important because we are in India, and the artist, let's say, is in Brazil, so there are a lot of cross-country taxation issues that come. All that, like, yeah, so like there will be different laws for taxes in Brazil. We don't think of that now. We think that, when the game will be out, that's when we'll think how things happen, who will pay the tax, who will not. But after being part of the accelerator, we realized that those are important things. And when investors came on board, it became even more important. So probably take legal help. If it's a cross-country contract, keep that in mind, because it needs to be like valid in both countries in terms of laws. And yeah, we actually do it in terms of like what's the total cost that's going in development, and what is the sweat equity, or what's your part, and then yeah, there's the math involved. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, so you basically answered my main question. But the other thing you said, which makes sense, don't outsource design, and don't work remotely on design, don't work remotely on code.
Yeah.
So are you really saying you're effectively outsourcing art and audio? And that's it?
No, by design I didn't mean art, animation, visual effects. By design I mean core design of the game.
Yeah.
How the game goes on, like what's the lead character, will it be endless, will it be level based, the core design. And tech, it's possible to actually work remotely on tech. There are a lot of people who do that, but the core, the lead programmer or the lead engineer should be the person who's working with the game designer. Those two people can't be away. I mean, you know, because I'll just give you an example. Let's say in our game we have puppets. It's called Puppet Punch. So if we were working with a programmer who was not on site, and so like puppets are coming down, we think that, you know, it should be a bit faster. They should move a bit more, and that a bit is something you can't explain. So if you have a programmer sitting in here near you, you can just tell him, like, you know, increase the ragdoll physics, make the joints a bit more flexible. So in terms of that communication is something we felt was very difficult online, and that's why I thought that it should not be remote.
Yeah, makes sense. So another question, have you seen one of these through to fruition? The reason I ask is, like, most mobile games don't make any money, or, you know, in fact make a loss. So how are your guys going to feel when they get to the end? They haven't been paid at all, or haven't been paid very much.
I didn't get you. Can you just repeat? Most mobile
so
games?
when you release a game and it
Yes.
fails and it doesn't
Yes.
make any money at all, which is most
Yes.
games,
Yes.
and your guys don't get a percentage of nothing, how are they going to feel about that?
Yes, so basically, I'll just be very frank on this. All the people, there will be people who care about that share, and if somebody's caring about that percentage of share, he's probably not the right person to work with, because all the people who work with us are the ones who actually believed in the prototype that we developed and had certain motivations to work on the project. They were not cash motivated. So even if like they have enjoyed working on the project all through, and we will be working on our next, we are already working on our next project with them. So it's not about the money that the project will make. It's more about the experience that they had. All of them have got really good opportunities in their careers because of working on this game. So yeah, it's not, even if the game fails, it doesn't really hurt us. Or yeah.
Hello,
My neighbor.
Arpita.
Yes.
First of all, lovely chat. And I earlier played your game, I Love Pablo. It's an amazing game. Good luck.
Yes.
When you talk with people on the remote side, be wherever they may, what is the first thing you ask them? What is you want to know? How do you select them? What
Okay.
kind of people are you looking for?
Okay. The first thing is that we look for people who have showcased their work online, because that's the most important thing. Like, I've never met the artist I'm working with. I've never met the sound designer I'm working with. So if they have put their work out, if they blog, if they write about every single thing, if they've, like, if the sound designer has made a sound of something falling, how has he gone through the process? If I can read that, if your online personality can reflect that you're a guy who cares about work more than anything and is doing much of your work, personal work, putting it online, organizing it, that's something that reflects. Yes, I mean, it has been majorly the work. We've only looked at the work portfolios, and then, yeah, majorly through LinkedIn. We've found people through LinkedIn, majorly. Yeah. Yes.
Hey, I was just going to make a comment, really. This is really good talk, because we also have a studio that all work remotely in different countries across time zones, so I know what the challenges are.
You can resonate with this.
For us, the way that we had the code and the design work together, because I was doing mainly the design, was we made tools so that I could, you know, to tweak the speed of things or the position of things. I did it all using tools, so the game was all data-driven, and so what helped was because I can program, so I actually wrote my own tools. So I think for us that was a key thing, that the designer actually was someone with technical background that can make their tools and then tweak those variables themselves without, because as you said, if I had to kind of speak to the coder every single time I wanted to change a value, it would just be a nightmare. But that was just my addition to that.
Yeah, I mean, if you have good tools, like if you write a level editor, I mean, if you have a good programmer and who's ready to write a level and value editor for you, yeah, that it becomes even more easy to do it. Yeah.
One more question?
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
the
so much,
amazing
guys,
talk.
for being here. Thank you.